Did you know that buying off the plan property is bad if you have an existing property? When you buy a property off the plan, the settlement may take 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years to take place from today. So your loan application will be assessed based on the lending policy at that time. What happens if interest rate goes up by 1% between today and 3 years later? It depends on your bank and how they calculate borrowing power. But it is quite possible that your borrowing power will drop by around 10% for every 1% increase in interest rate. If let's say you do not have a property at the moment, you're only buying one, then what you can do is you can budget for a 10% buffer. So if your borrowing power is, let's say, 500,000, you simply can choose to buy a property that only needs you to borrow 450,000. However, imagine if you have an existing property with a $500,000 home loan and you're going to get another $500,000 investment loan, for example. So at the end of the journey, you will have two properties. If your borrowing power drops by 10%, for the majority of banks, that is the total borrowing power. So that means your maximum loan amount will be $900,000 instead of $1 million. So what that means is that your extra loan can only be $400,000. So that's a drop of 20% in terms of the borrowing power for the extra loan. So you have to budget for a 20% buffer. Now imagine if you have an existing home loan that's $700,000 and you want to buy another property and you are going to borrow $300,000 because your broker or your bank tells you can borrow $300,000. If let's say in 3 years your borrowing power drops by 10% as a total, your total loan can only be 900 grand and the extra loan can only be 200 grand because you've got $700,000 existing. So that means your borrowing power for the extra loan actually drops by 33%. Your borrowing power will be very sensitive if you have an existing loan. Because of that, it's not a good idea to buy an off-the-plan property if you have an existing property. There may be solutions if you are stuck in this situation. Feel free to chat with your mortgage broker. If you would like to contact me, send us an email at contact@lendingclinic.com.au.